going to go on a little journey together. I call it Ambition on a Mission. And I want us to consider this. Everyone has two stories. The story in front of us and the story behind us. Right? Think about that. Think about where you came from. All those great things you've done to get here. That's a story behind you. So there's a story in front of you as well. And that is what we're in this program for, to define what that story is going to be. Right? You get to decide and determine and define and architect what that story is. Now, I lead people, and the topics we're talking about today, the topics you're learning about, I'm constantly struggling, constantly challenged, constantly reinventing who I am as a leader myself. So I feel like I'm in the same boat with you. And every day, I have this story behind me, and I think, what happened with that team member yesterday? What happened with Sue? Was I a great leader to her, or was I micromanaging in her face? What was I like yesterday, and what do I want to be tomorrow? In a call, when I talk to her, what do I want to be? On my computer, everyone always laughs, because when you open my computer, I have on there white labels, and it says, lead with love. It's just on there, because every day I'm on the call, like, what kind of leader do I want to be? I just have to keep committing to that. I want to lead with love. Love of the process, love of helping her become a bigger, better person, contributing to her. And when I don't lead with love, that's when I look back at the story behind me yesterday and go, gosh, what was I doing? Why did I snap, yell? Why did I get so irritated, short-tempered? So that lead with love, that's every day. I just keep telling myself, lead with love. That's the kind of leader I want to be. You get to define what kind of leader you want to be. So that's the story in front of you that we're working on today. Let's talk about the difference between leading and managing. Leading and managing. Let me give you a very simple definition here. We manage things. Okay? We manage things. We manage money, time, budgets, responsibilities, but we lead people. And I know this is a kind of a challenging concept in the corporate world because we have people called managers, and those managers have people, and I manage people. But I really want you to consider that actually all you're managing are the things. The time, the budgets, the deadlines, the responsibilities, and we lead people. And that little distinction can make such a difference for us. So, let's look at the difference between the success. Okay, success is managing versus success as leading. So when we are managing, our success comes from what we do every day. So when we're managing, we want to make sure that input, the deadline's met, we have enough resources, we have the budget, everything's working really well. We're getting in the office, we're getting that to-do list done, and we're getting out alive at the end of the day, right? That success is managing our day. We did it. Crossed all those things off of our list, got through that meeting. Even if that meeting should have been an email, I survived, I made it, got off that conference call, okay, great. I was successful. I was managing my day, the money, the budgets, the time, the deadlines, but that's not necessarily leading. And when we're successful, leading comes from, what are the people on our team doing? How did they perform? Okay, that's where our success is going to come from. But again, we have to kind of shift this notion that we've been living with so long, saying, well, you know, I'm a manager, and we kind of collapse this. So I want us to uncollapse it. And the reality is that we're all managing every single day. Even your CEO, everyone's managing every single day. From the top to the bottom, to the bottom to the top, not everyone's leading. Even those people who have leadership titles are not necessarily leading all the time. There's moments that they lead, but they're often just trying to survive the day like you are. Get through that to-do list. Survive that meeting. Okay? But the success when we lead comes from our team's performance. Okay, good. The mindset. The mindset when we're managing is, how can I execute? How can I do this better today than I did yesterday? Kind of high-fived myself over the past few days because I was so productive. I had so many things going on. I said, wow, I got through that list. I used my time on the plane well. I got through this. I managed this. I got this done. They needed that document. I got that done. So I did a high five. I'm like, wow, I'm so great. man, I'm so productive. That just felt really great. I was a really great manager in that moment. The past few days I managed, I got my dog handled, I got my husband handled, I got the house handled, the laundry got done, the dishes, notes were left, he knows exactly what to do. Okay, I handled it all, I was so productive. I executed really well. But I didn't necessarily lead. And when we are leading, the mindset is, how can I help the other people I'm working with be bigger, brighter, bolder versions of themselves? Again, a different kind of mindset, right? Because when we work with people, we're like, okay, we got to get through this report. What can you do? I got to meet those numbers. What do you got? Let's go, let's get all this together. And I just need to get that off my plate because my boss is asking it from me. That's the mindset of managing. Even though I might have this big leadership title, I'm just managing. But now if I'm working with you and I say, okay, what do you need to be successful? What can we learn here? How can I help you be successful and really win in this moment? Then I'm leading. Okay? Nothing wrong with managing. I want you to really get, we need to manage. we need to get ourselves through today, dinner tonight, back to work tomorrow, right? That's what we do. We manage. It's fine. It's great. We are good. And you know, I said before, lead with love. I want us to manage with fear. And I'm okay with that. Manage with fear. Because you want to be afraid that you're not going to get the report done. You're not going to have the money. You're not going to have the resources. So managing with fear is good. I don't want to miss that meeting. I want to miss that phone call. So you want to manage with fear that things are going to happen, but you want to lead with love. Different mindset there. But now think of the people that you've worked for, your bosses over the years, who you just loved. The people you just think about and you say, wow, that was one of my favorite bosses ever. Do you guys have people like that you can think of? My favorite boss ever. They weren't over here saying, Holly, how can you execute? I need the numbers, let's go. Someone's asking me for the numbers. Holly, what do you got? I'm saying, Holly, what can I do for you? That's the kind of leader we want to be when you're looking at the story in front of you. I had two amazing bosses when I was in Silicon Valley. One was Glenn Rossman. I worked at Coopers & Lybrand when there were 6 accounting firms. And this boss, he was the managing partner. Untouchable, like in another corner somewhere. It's my first job after law school. I come in, I'm so excited. Like, I'm finally gonna make money after 7 years of higher education. I had the heels, I had the suits. Every day we dressed up. I heard that just a year before I got there, they allowed women to wear pants. That concept blew me away that we couldn't even wear pants. But I was dressed to the nine. I was so excited to be there. And I sit down in my cube, and then all of a sudden I start hearing, people aren't quite as excited as I am. The grumbling, they were just so mad at their jobs. They hated being there. Something was wrong every single day with every single person and every single process. Oh man, what is going on here? So I sort of observed for a while, and then I thought, gosh, I wonder if Glenn knows. I really thought to myself, in that I'm just out of school brazen sort of way, right? I wonder if Glenn knows. I should let Glenn know. Now, this was before email, so we didn't send email. There was no internet, bless you, there was no internet. So I write a memo. I said, Glenn, let me tell you what's going on in the cubes here. By the way, I love my job. And I think this has so much potential, but I don't know that you know, people are just not so happy here. But here are some things that we could do to really change the culture in the cubes. Now, I'm supposed to be doing tax returns, okay? I'm supposed to be researching tax law. Okay, so if Glenn was over here on how to execute, he could be looking at me like, what is she doing? Just do the work, and we paid for you. Like, oh, Glenn, I have some ideas for you. So I write this memo, and I stick it in the inner office envelope with a little tie here, and I hand it to the person who walks around every day to take those inner office memos and dropped it off on Glenn's desk. And I get a call from Glenn's secretary and says, hey, let me set up a meeting because Glenn wants to talk to you. Well, I could be in trouble. And do a tax return already. And so Glenn meets with me, and he proceeded to meet with me for the next 6 months. He wanted to hear my ideas. He wanted us to try things. He said, yes, let's go research that. Let's put that together. That's interesting. Let's see what we can do about that. And just kept encouraging me. You think he was over here or was he over here? Right? He was over here. He's like, how can I help Ann be bigger, brighter, bolder version of herself? I know I need the tax returns done. She'll do that. But let me see if I can encourage this. Okay? We don't have to just be here. We need people to execute, but we need to help people be bigger, brighter, bolder versions of themselves. And then the difference between our goals here, we're going to be a star performer. When we're managing, we're really focused on how can I be the star versus how can I be the star mentor? How can I be the star mentor? Okay. We are going to talk about 5 keys for leadership excellence. Really fast before we do, are there any questions on the concept between leading and managing? Are you sitting there thinking, no, I don't agree? I like to manage, and it's fine the way I manage, and I should manage all my way to success? Or can you really see the difference in the people that you've worked with and the bosses you've loved who've said, yes, I need you to execute, but Carol, I want to know what you need to be successful. Those are some special people out there. Right? And you're in this program to really define your leadership. You get to create that. Let's look at the 5 keys for leadership excellence. So the first one is presence. We're going to go over this. Presence, empowerment, decision-making, accountability, and influence. Just to let you know, you're going to get a copy of all the slides at the end, so don't worry, it's not on that sheet right there. You'll get all these. But these are the 5. Let's dive into presence. All right, presence. 3 concepts of presence. Visual, verbal, and validity. Let's start with visual. Presence as it relates to visual. What does that mean to you?
Your appearance.
How you show up.
Okay. So your appearance, okay, and how you show up. Okay, good. Can you say more about the appearance?
Are you dressed professionally, or are you dressed appropriate for the situation?
Great. Okay, fantastic. And how you show up, tell me about that.
So does your presence command, like, you that you're a leader? Are you showing up in that regard?
Mhm. Great. There was a study done that women in particular sit in meetings with their hands in their laps versus hands on the table. And that alone tells the difference of how engaged they are, if they are in the meeting and want to be there, or if they're more submissive and just listening. Another study shows that women show up to meetings carrying a lot of stuff, a lot of papers, right? Bags, piles. They're going to come in and they're going to take notes and they're going to do. And some of the guys are just walking with nothing and go, can I get a pen? Do you have a pen? I have nothing to write with. They're going to be the thinkers. The women are going to do the doers. We're going to be the thinkers. Okay, so really, how we look. I was at a utility and I was working with the call center folks. Now, some of the call center folks, they don't see customers. They're on the phone. And this one gentleman, he wore a suit every day. And everyone said, are you going on an interview? What are you doing? Why are you wearing a suit? He said, no, this makes me feel like I'm professional. I am serving them. I feel better when I'm dressed up. And he said, and my colleagues are dressing like they just rolled out of bed. Because they didn't care. They said, well, I'm on the phone. This is my job. This is where I am. The problem, though, is that some of those people who just rolled out of bed said, well, when I get the promotion, then I'll take the sweatpants off and I'll really dress up. But if other people aren't seeing them as anything other than sweatpant-wearing call center folks, I can't even visualize you as anything other than that. You're in sweatpants. How can I visualize you leading a team when you haven't even brushed your hair, right? So that it really does. You want to dress for that role you want. And I'm not even talking about promotion, for the respect you want, for that presence you want to create. I often say to much younger crowds that, I should say not younger in age, but younger in experience than you, We don't need to look like we're clubbing. We need to look like we're connecting. Right? We don't need to show cleavage. Right? We're not clubbing. We don't need cleavage. We don't need to, we're not looking for dates here. We're looking for great conversations and to connect with people. And I personally, I go to meetings and I think I always want to dress at least one level above people in the meeting. Right? I want to garner that respect the minute they see me. Okay, verbal. Tell me what that means to you as it relates to presence. Verbal. It's a verbal piece of presence.
More out there, more, I wouldn't say louder, but more assertive, I guess.
Okay.
As opposed to me being quiet.
Great. Great. There's a time to listen, but you also need to contribute. Right? And have an opinion, say something, contribute, as opposed to not say anything, just listen and then complain later, to actually say something. Okay, so the verbal, how about the, what did I just do? Okay, how about the validity? What does that mean to you? The validity. What does that mean? Yeah? What did you say? Good, good. You actually feel the confidence to be there, like you own it, you belong in that room, and that other people believe it as well. So there's this concept of feeling like I belong here versus, oh geez, are they going to call me out any minute that I shouldn't be here? So there's this aspect of presence, like we walk in, Mae West would walk into a saloon, and she'd say, who here needs to know me? Right? She was valid the minute she walked in. She said, who here needs to know me? What do we do at networking events? We walk in, we get a room full of people we don't know, we go, oh geez, where'd Lauren go? Lauren was supposed to be here. I better call Lauren and stand over here and pretend to get some food or go to the bathroom. And wouldn't it be great if we walked in and said, gosh, hi, I'm Ann. Here, Monique, nice to meet you. Right away, right? Like, and now, if I did that to you, and I just walked up like that, what is that? What is my presence saying to you?
If you were just walking up.
Yeah, and I just said, Monday, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Yeah, it's just telling me you're engaging, you want to get to know me, you're present.
Good, and I'm confident, right? That I don't need to be validated by you. I actually want to engage with you. I don't need you to give me permission to be there.
Right.
Okay, we don't need permission. Right, you all applied to this program, you all got in, right? You're here because you earned it. But you don't need permission to lead. We just need a few new skills to kind of hone it. But you don't need permission to lead. There's a reason you're here, right? So we need to keep doing that. Now, that doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm better than Dennis over there. That's not what that means. It means being confident in what we're going to say, how we look, our participation in the meeting. Now, the other aspect of presence I just want to touch on in this day of social media is that our presence online reflects something about us offline. Okay? You know, I'm going to hire another programmer on my team, and I said to my team, I said, all right, I want to do not only a background check and a financial check, I want to do a social media check. Right? I don't want someone on my team who posts things that I would be embarrassed to be connected with, or that they're out of integrity, or that they're showing me one face, but they're really cruel human beings over here. That's not who I want to work with. I want the integrity from the person I meet all the way through. Right? So we just, do any of you have kids? Teenagers? Okay? This is like one of those things I cannot drill in enough to I have 2 stepkids. Like the things you post are speaking for you when you're not there. So you can dress nicely, you can chew with your mouth closed, you can do all those things I tell you, but that's speaking for you when you're not in the room. Okay, so now take it off social media. Even your email has presence. The subject lines you use. Are you an emailer that has 47 paragraphs and you're expecting people to read it? Or are you a bullet kind of person? Right? Do you give people the information they need? Is it just an information exchange, or are you expecting an entire meeting to happen on email? Right? Your presence happens online and offline. So we have to remember that. Your hair could be brushed, but your social media and your email could be working against you. Okay, let's talk about empowerment. This concept of empowerment we could spend all day on. But we're going to talk about this concept of empowerment as it relates to delegation. Because we actually could be executing on projects, getting people to do work, to delegate work, and empowering them at the same time. Okay? So, delegating is essential to our success. We have a lot of work to do, don't we? I mean, you're in this meeting right now, and you've got emails coming in, you've got people who need things, you've got work piled up, like work is coming in, you're overloaded with stuff. Right? But we actually need to give some of that work to our teams. Because when we share the work, they're more effective, your whole team's more effective. And you help fuel people's own ambition when you share that work. When you delegate and include them in that project, you actually contribute to them. Now, it's kind of the way you do it. You could say, Dennis, I'm so important and I'm so busy, I just need you to do this report, okay, and get it to me because my boss needs it and I need to look really good. So, end of the day, I could do that, and then it's all about me, right? Dennis, just do this work, okay? Or I could include Dennis in the project and in our success and help Dennis be successful at the same time. So I could execute and include him, help him be a bigger, better, bolder version of himself through this concept of empowering while you're delegating, okay? Little difference. And I think the biggest challenge is we run all day long, we run, right? We don't stop and go, oh, I wonder how Dennis feels about getting this report. We just run and go, Dennis, report, and we run. We have to be more intentional and stop and say, what is the impact going to be on Dennis? How could I include him, still get this report done, meet our deadline, manage, lead, same time. Manage, lead. Because you can do both, okay? So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to do this process here. I'm going to teach you this, and then we're going to have an opportunity to use it. Okay, we're going to go from delegating to enrolling to entrusting, and here's how it looks. Tier 1. Tier 1 is, I'm going to give you a project. So Holly, I give you a project, and let me support you through this, because this is new. You've never done this before. Or, Holly, you and I haven't worked together before, and so I don't trust you yet, but I'm going to. Okay? So I'm going to assign this to you, Holly. Just check in with me before you take any action. I want to make sure you have everything you need. So I'm trying to execute, manage. I want to lead Holly, though. So I say, just let me know if you have anything, you need anything, but before you take action, let me know. Okay? That'll be tier 1. Tier 2, you say, Holly, you and I own this together. Okay? You own this together. Let's check it. I'm going to give you this. I trust you now, because you did the first project. It went great. Why don't you do this next one? Let's check in regularly. I want to continue to guide you and support you and develop your success through this project and through execution. Okay, so that's level 2. Level 3 is, Holly, you know what? Gosh, you and I have worked together for a long time. You can handle this. Like, I know you're going to be great. You've got this, I've got your back. Okay? So when you're done with the project, let's check in after you're done. I want to make sure I know the results because I want to champion you. I want to tell everyone else how great you are. Okay? Tier 4 is, Holly, I trust you 100%. Just make this go away. Just do this. You are so good. You make this go away. You know what you're doing. You know, you've got it. It's all yours. Handle it. And no need to even update me. You got it. Okay? So let me hand these to you guys. This is this sheet right here. What questions do you have on this first? What do you think this requires? In order to pick what level, what does this require? So you're managing. You want to delegate. You want to give someone a project, big or small, and you look at this sheet. What do you need to do?
Communicate.
Good. Communicate. Exactly. Because you can do this all in your head, or you can have a conversation. Okay? So I say, oh, Monique, I have this project here. Where do you think we should be? Okay, so now I'm engaging her. Okay, I'm not saying, Monique, it's all about me, I need this project done, do it. I'll say, Monique, where do you think we should be? Because Because now Monique's gonna say, I've never done this before, and I could really use your support before we even take any action. Or, you know what, I think I got this. Why don't I check in with you just every week? I'll just give you an update on it. Now you're involving Monique in this process, and Monique feels like she's part of it and goes, wow, that's great. I know what I need to do next. Now also, I could say, Monique, where do you think we are? Monique will have to really look and go, I don't know anything about this, or this is brand new to me. I don't have all the information. So now that communication's there. Do you see the difference between I need this done, manage, Monique, do it, versus manage, lead, Monique, let's do this together. Where do you think we're gonna fall on this? Okay, here's what I want us to do. On your worksheets, you see your worksheet here at the very bottom. Yes, very bottom right there. I'm a little out of order here. It says empowering through delegating. Do you see that? So I want you to pair up. So pair. I think there's a 3, so maybe you 3 could work together. And I want you to go through the list of tasks, basically. And I want you to say which one do you think it should be. Did I mess that up? Okay, good. So I want you to say which tier should it be. Okay? So you're going to go through, you're going to say, what's the first one on the list? It says, write a report. Which tier should it be? Okay? I think, and you just write down, well, I think it should be tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Okay? So do that with your partners right now. I just want a tier 1, 2, 3, 4 listed on there.
I don't know.
And let me just say, you guys, there's no right answer, okay? There's no right answer. So just write them down and don't think too hard.
Right, so you trust them 100%.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So like, share what they do or to provide clarification on like a member thing, like a member communication, something like that. They're supporting the part services.
Okay.
You think so?
All right, we're going to come back together since Mary Jo and Holly are done first.
Hang about that.
Okay, all right, so we're going to... All right, we're going to come back to first. Are you guys done too? Okay, good. We're done. Okay, so some of you, like this team over here, is a little stuck on number 1 here, right? Okay, so why are you guys stuck on number 1?
Because we don't know what level the person's on.
Absolutely, that's right.
There we go.
And you haven't worked with them before, you haven't had a conversation, so this is what happens when we try to delegate without having a conversation, without knowing the other person, where they're at, what kind of communication do they have, where they're at, how they feel. We have no idea, so we're trying to assign something, and we're stuck on number 1, right? Yeah. So, absolutely. Okay, for those of you not stuck on 1, what did you decide? Tier 2, okay, why?
Well, write a report. You would think most people know how to write a report, and then you're going to check in. You still have that little bit of control, I guess,
Great.
and check in and see how they're feeling and doing.
Okay, great. So a couple things about that. Be careful of the control. because that's all about you,
Okay.
right? And the checking in should really be, how successful are they? I want them to feel great, not that you just dump something on them, okay?
All right.
Because you don't want to execute, but we're also leading here. Now, the tier 2, what assumptions did you make in doing that?
That they know how to
Yeah.
write a report.
That they know how to write it, they know what
Yeah.
you want the result to be, that they've done it before, you trust them, you've worked with them, boom, go.
Yeah.
So, which is why you guys got stuck in all the assumptions because you didn't know those things, right? Right, yeah, they stopped with the assumptions, no assumptions. Okay, good, number 2, what was number 2? What did you say for that? Good.
No, we were still on assumptions.
Okay, okay, good, so you really see assumptions block us, right? What did you guys say for number 2?
Agreed.
Okay, and it was handling a customer complaint.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So, and the assumption you made was?
That we got your back, we trust you.
But the assumption about the person you're delegating to. What did you assume when you said, you know, you can do this?
We trust them.
Okay.
Trust them
Trust
that
them.
they can do it.
And that they could do it. You assume that they could do it, that they'd handled that customer complaint before. And they felt confident and ready to go.
Yes.
Okay, good. Where'd you put number 3 there? Which was reviewing a loan application.
2.
Okay. You guys are like, nope, we don't move without assumptions. We're like over here. We're standing our ground on assumptions.
We actually discussed tier 1, 2, 3 all over.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, we did, and say based on different situations.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We need 1 or 2. and 3.
Absolutely. You could literally for any one of these put 1, 2, or 3 or 4, right? You could. Now some of them you don't want to do a 4, like, oh, they can go away, I don't want to ever talk about it. But
We did.
which for which one?
Well, for number 2, handle the customer complaint. I was telling Dennis, if it's a teller, it's 1. But if it's an assistant manager like WRN, then it's the 4.
Okay, good, good. What level? Would you really need to know what's happened? Just handle it? Good, so there are some situations, boom, make it go away. Set up the next meeting. Just set it up. I just get them the information they need at the other department. I don't care, it's just, you got it. Okay, so, but you see, we've got a lot of assumptions, we've got no communication, but you can literally take this document, go to someone and say, all right, I'm gonna give you a project, Henry. Where do you think we should fall on this? Where would you feel best? Where do you think you'll most succeed? Let's try this out. Which one, right? What tier should we be at? Okay? A great communication, because Henry, you gotta get the report done. Manage, 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 but you have the opportunity to lead. Okay? And that's what I don't want you to miss out on. Because we're so busy delegating that we have to stop and go, all right, where is this falling? How can I lead in this moment, not just get stuff off my email and off my back and assign things? Okay, let's go to decision making. So the decision making is the next piece. Now, again, another topic that we could spend hours on, right? We could talk for hours on how to make decisions. But here's, I'm going to give you just a basic thing to work with here. A foundation, not basic, a foundational piece. In every decision, there are 2 audiences. Okay? 2 audiences in every decision. Who do you think they are? Okay, good. You, being, who's you? Me. In that scenario, who's you?
The manager
Or the decision maker, right? And who's everybody else?
would be those that change.
It's
Say
affecting.
your employees or
Someone who's affected by that change or that decision that was made. Great. And you guys said change.
Team.
Oh, team. Team, and what did you
I
say?
said who it affects is the other audience.
Great, yes. Whoever is impacted by your decision, those 2 people. Now, here's the challenge. You guys ever seen the Kubler-Ross curve? Change curve? Okay, this is what happens in change. What do you think we're doing in decisions? Making change, right? Even a small decision, you're making a change. If you don't make a decision, you're not changing anything. We're doing exactly what we did yesterday. It's exactly the same. We have no decision to make. We're fine the way it is. The minute you make a decision, you're changing something. Okay? Here's how the change curve works. At the beginning, you're shocked. I can't believe I have to change this. So I'm shocked. It's working so great. and then you're like, no, you know what? I think they're wrong. This really works just fine the way it is. I don't think we should do this. Then you're frustrated. Oh, God, this is going to be so painful to change this. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. You're just all lacking energy. I don't want to change this. I have so much to do. I'm so busy. All right, I'll consider it. You know, I went on a walk this morning. It might be okay if we change it. It might actually be better for the team if we made that change. Okay, great. You know, we'll experiment. We'll try it. Maybe a trial of phase 1. Okay. All right, make the decision. We're going to go with this. Is great. All right, we're going to integrate this change. This is awesome. Oh, I'm so glad we did this. Everything is so much better. That was one audience in that decision-making process, right? Where do you think everyone else is? You're over here. Where are they?
They're back at the beginning.
You went through this. You're over here. You're like, guys, this is great. We're going to have such a better team in the process. You're going to love it. And they're over here going, oh my God, what does that mean to me? What do I have to do? Gosh, I want to work. Oh, I'm shocked. Oh, no, she's wrong. Okay, do you see? Like, you're way over here. You've gone through this whole process. You're thinking, this is a good decision. They're way over here. That's why decisions are so poorly met, because we don't let people go through this process. We have to help people go through this. We have to realize you're over here, they're still going through it. You're going to have some people that are like, they might like, whoop, no, I hate this. No, you're wrong. Oh, so, yeah. Okay, great, good idea, Travis, good idea, in like 5 minutes. But others are going to take a lot longer to go through this. That's important for you to remember. I'm just going to pass this out. So you have this with you as your cheat sheet when you are making decisions. Know where people are. Know that you just went through this whole curve and they didn't. Okay? Do you see, like, are you going like, I get it, right?
We just went through this.
you can see it now. You were on the other side of decisions.
We went through this.
Okay, good. You were on the other side of some decision, right? And maybe some executive team made some whole big decision and they analyzed and they went through committees and they had all of this figured out and then they dump it on you.
Yep.
It's a big change. And you're like, what? It was working so well. Gosh, how come they never talk to us? They never ask us what should happen. They just make this change and they didn't even think about it. When they did go through all this, you're just not there. Okay, so that is how just remember that when you are making decisions. Any decision has 2 audiences. Okay? People have to go through that curve. Okay, let's talk about accountability for a second. Accountability. Accountability is being responsible, but it's being answerable. You're liable. Okay? You are liable for that. It's always measured after a task is done. Okay? You were supposed to be here at 10. You were here at 10:15. Okay? We measure it afterwards. And it cannot be shared. Accountability cannot be shared. It's yours. You are the one who's liable. Now, responsibility, these always get merged. Okay? These always get merged. I really want us to just kind of parse this out here. This is being in charge. You're the owner of a task. So, you delegate something. You make this big decision. You go through the whole change curve. You delegate something. Maria's got it. Maria, you're going to do this. We went through the whole tier. You got it. Maria, you are on tier 3. Fantastic. You're gonna take this and run with it, Maria. That's fantastic. She might be the owner, but I'm still answerable. Okay? I'm still liable. Remember that. But now, she could be answerable to me, but she owns this task, but ultimately I'm accountable for it. Okay? We assign the responsibility before or after a task. Who was responsible for this? And it can be shared. Okay? So a team can be responsible. Ultimately, someone's accountable. Again, another topic you could spend a whole day on, but I just want you to look when people use these terms. Are they accountable versus responsible? Who's ultimately answerable? Because it's one person, it's not shared. Someone is accountable for that, even though they could share the responsibility for getting it done. Okay? And then this whole concept we can talk about sometime is just the, how do you hold people accountable? Okay? Manage, 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 but I still want to lead you even though you did not fulfill. Okay? And just for now, just start looking. Accountability versus responsibility. Okay, breezing on through that topic. It's something to think about. Okay, influence. Here is something I want you guys to really get here. Every task that is assigned, ready? There's skill involved in that task. There's the motivation to do the task. Motivation, attitude to do the task. And then there is the environment. All right, what or which ones of these do you think you, as the leader, can control?
Environment.
Any others?
Motivation.
Motivation.
How we,
All of them. Okay. You think all of them, right? The skills, motivation, environments. Okay, you ready? The only thing that you can control is the environment.
because.
That's it. You cannot control these two. My parents in the room, who are the parents? This applies to your kids too. You cannot control their skill or their motivation. You can only control the environment. Who are they hanging out with? Do they have the support at home? Are you feeding them? Are you feeding them healthy? Do you have a roof over their head? Okay, that's the environment. The skill and motivation you cannot control. What can we do though with these two?
Ground them.
Which is another form of influence. I'm gonna ground you, darn it. Yes, okay, you can influence it. Okay, so you can influence these two, you cannot control it. Whether you're a parent or a leader, never forget that. You can only control the environment. Do your people have all the information they need? Do they feel safe when they come to work? Do they, are the lights on? Did you turn the lights on? Is it hot in here? Is it too hot for you? Is it too cold for you? Are there too many people? They can't concentrate because everyone's sitting at their desk. You don't have enough desks for them. You didn't buy a chair for them. So they don't know where to sit. They don't have a computer. It doesn't work. They don't have internet access. They can't do their work. So that's all environment. That's all you can control. Okay? We can influence the motivation, and you can influence the skill. All right. You cannot motivate people. I just, you know, it's funny at the beginning they said, everyone always says, oh, the motivational speaker. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. I'll cheer you on a little bit, but I really can't motivate you. I can give you some interesting things to think about, some exercises, some ways to do things, but ultimately, I can't motivate you. Okay? You can only motivate yourself. That's it. You can only motivate yourself, but you can influence people. Okay? I can influence you. Your leaders are influencing you. Now, let's go through this, because I love influence. I think influence is so cool. There's so many awesome ways to do this. Let me talk about the indirect influence here, and I do have this on your sheet there. There's 6 indirect influences. If you ever heard of Robert Cialdini, he did this research back in the 60s. He's written books on it. This is always affirmed again and again. Reciprocity. People feel obligated to return favors to those who do favors to them. Authority. We look to experts. Someone suddenly becomes the CEO and we look to them. They have authority. Social proof. What is everyone else doing? That influences us. It guides our behavior. Consistency. Consistency. I am healthy. I declare myself to be a healthy person, so my behaviors will follow that. I'm influenced to go to a restaurant that says, oh, we serve organic food. It's consistent with my beliefs. Okay? Same thing with, you can go political party, you can go religion. People act consistent with those commitments and the beliefs they have. Liking. We say yes to people we like. My mom was a big influence on me. I love hanging out with my mom. So I go to college, I say, Mom, I'm going to do business law. And she says, you know, everyone needs their taxes done. I think you should get an accounting degree. Okay, I'll do accounting and then I'll go to law school. And then I'm doing that, and she says, you know, as long as you're there, you should take the CPA. Okay, I'll do the CPA. Because I liked my mom so much. I liked hanging out with her. Liking. Debbie and I at the beginning, I said, so where are you from? And she said, Roselle in Chicago, outside of Chicago. Oh my gosh, I'm from St. Charles, like instant liking. And we go, people from the Midwest, salt of the earth, right? And we bonded. I have a dog, any dog lovers here? Love my dog so much. If I saw you walking down the street with your dog, I would love you instantly. Carolyn and I would be friends just because you had a dog. I would love upping your dog, right? And like each other. And that would influence me more. You'd say, oh, I just found this new treat for my dog. And I'd say, Carol, what is it? I want to go get it. Because you love dogs, I love dogs too. You see how that works? Scarcity. We only have 3 tickets left. And you go, I don't care what it is, I want it. Let me in. Okay? The less available resources, the more we want it. eBay was created off of this scarcity concept. Okay, so that's an indirect influence. It happens all the time. I want you to watch for it. Pay attention to it. Here's 3 ways you're going to employ that influence. We're going to talk about the participatory bias, the self-delusion, and the social cognitive theory. All right, you ready? Power of participation. People support that which they help create. People support that which they help create. So, you say to someone, hey Nancy, I have this decision that I need to make. I'm going through the change curve personally. And what's it like over at your team? What would you think of this? And then Nancy says, oh, I think you should go with blue. And I go, great, okay, thanks. I go with blue, and Nancy goes, everyone, we're doing blue. Isn't blue so great? She made a great decision. Anne made a great decision. Because we were going to support it more because you were included in the process. Okay? People support that which they help create. You include people, they will support it. Now, even if I didn't go with blue, Nancy would still support it because she was involved in the process. The opposite would be incongruent. If Nancy said blue, and I said, good idea, blue is it. And then Nancy goes, what a stupid decision, blue. Oh, that was so dumb. It would not work internally. It would be too dissonant for her. She could not go with that. She couldn't badmouth my blue because she was participating in that. It would just be too incongruent for her. And this fuels people's involvement and their importance. They feel important when we include them. Okay? Power of participation is huge. Even if you know the answer, you want to ask people what they're thinking. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so power of participation is huge. Look for it. Look for ways you can include people in the process. All right, let's do one more, and then we will invite him up here to say a few words. The power of delusion. Power of delusion. Do you know every single person, yourself included, thinks the entire world revolves around them? Right? It doesn't? We all think the world revolves around us because, from our eyes, it does. The entire world revolves around me. And Dennis over here, the entire world revolves around you. Maria, same thing, it revolves around you. So we all have this feeling like it's all about us. Now I come along and I go, Mary Jo, you know, you're really not that important. And it doesn't revolve around you. Right? Don't we say that to kids all the time? You know, it's really not all about you. So now we take that delusion and we make it deflation. Okay? When people are deluded, people believe, just this whole concept of delusion is that we all believe we're actually better than we are. We do. We think, everyone thinks they're above average driver, but statistically that's impossible. I have a car, it's a Subaru with that new eyesight technology. You guys heard of that? And it tells me when I'm lane departing. Lane departure. My husband laughs because I get lane departure like daily, every time I drive. Like, I'm really not a good driver. Like, I know that now. I'm okay. So we all think we're better than we actually are. But that's okay. We want highly confident people on our team. Why? Because highly confident people produce highly confident results. Right? They perform better when they think they're important and that their work matters and it actually makes a difference that they're there. It actually makes a difference that they're there, okay? We want this. When we say, you know, Gina, you actually don't matter that much, and we made this whole decision without you. I don't care where you're on the curve, you just have to get up to speed, will you? Get your team up to speed. We don't care. Guess what? She doesn't matter. Now I've deflated her, now she goes, all right, doesn't matter what I do every day, they're gonna continue making those decisions regardless of me, okay? I've deflated you, you're less confident, you're not actually wanting to produce that much. I'm just gonna do the bare minimum, checking in and checking out. Okay? That's the power of delusion. We want people to be deluded. It's okay. Let people be important. You know how people are loaded onto a plane? The first class goes first? It's the stupidest way to board a plane. We should board from the back, move it up, it would be that much faster. But every airline knows that people want to be first. They want to be first in line. I'm group number 1. I go over this stupid red carpet that United puts down. That's me, right? But it's the dumbest way to board a plane, but they know it doesn't matter. They want to delude people, and you are that special. You are our platinum number. So what? I love when people go, no, I'm getting on. Like, the plane's not taking off until we all get on. So I'm like, okay. Okay, that's the power of delusion. We laugh because it seems goofy, but we're all human beings. Remember that. The VIP, the you're so special, you got that, I got the club card, oh, I belong. Okay, all those things are influencing us. Social cognitive theory. This one, you all need to remember that they're watching you. They're watching you. Your actions, words, behaviors mold and shape theirs. If you come into a meeting and go, and when Jen comes back from meeting and goes, they're so stupid. Gosh, the decisions they make, God, this place sucks. Her whole team's gonna go, this whole place sucks, okay. Okay, this whole place sucks, yeah, those decisions are dumb. They follow us. We stand on a pedestal merely by your title. People look to you. Do you fly off the handle a moment's notice, or do you say, all right, I'm gonna take a deep breath, I'm sorry you guys, I'm just really stressed. Do you jump to conclusions and assume bad intent, like, oh, they must have been doing that to get back at us? Or do you say, no guys, let's all actually find out what happened, because I don't want to make any assumptions here. Okay? How we act in situations, they're looking at us. Jerky kids usually come from jerky parents. Right? I mean, you see a jerky little kid and you go, well, I wonder what those parents are like. I mean, right? Because those kids are watching the parents. Doesn't mean that kid won't be able to get out of the jerkiness, but when that's your whole world and all you do is watch your parents day in and day out, they're watching. Okay. How do you think we step off that pedestal? What do we do? What do we do when we step off that pedestal? And we're on the pedestal, they look at us, we're doing great, and then we trip over the pedestal, and now we're, what, I'm sorry, I'm not asking this question, I'll put it out here. We say one thing, we do another, okay? Right? Guys, we need to support the entire team. And we go, gosh, Henry's so dumb, isn't he? We're all on a team. Guys, we need to support each other. Henry's not so smart. Okay, so I say one thing and do another. We don't include people. Let's have a meeting here and not include Dennis. He doesn't really matter anyway. We can make this decision without him. Dennis goes, wait a minute. We make people feel unimportant, right? We go, Tina, we did this without you. We actually need your input at all. Okay. And then we make excuses. I know I'm accountable, but let me tell you that other department never got us the information we needed. That's why we couldn't deliver. So now, guess what? The people who are watching you go, okay, the way to survive in this place is make excuses. The way to survive is talk behind people's backs. The way to survive, get ahead, because, well, you're the leader, and you just kept Tina out, so I guess that's what we do. We just keep people out. Okay? They're watching you all the time. Here's the bottom line. Every person needs to feel important and avoid rejection. Every day. Whether you're in 3rd grade or you're 30 or 90, every single person wants to feel important and every person just wants to avoid rejection. We feel it all the time. You just need to remember your people are feeling that too. Now, when these needs are not met, here's what happens. They disrupt the process, or they're disengaged. Okay? Anyone recognize these Aeon chairs here? Okay? These are $1,000 chairs. $1,000, and this was kind of the badge of success in Silicon Valley. When your company got funded, you went out and bought Aeon chairs for everybody. Like, yeah, I got my Aeon chair. I still have my Aeon chair. Because when the company went under, we took our Aeon chairs and went home. So, this Aeon chair was created by Henry Miller. And what he said is, he said, they're wonderful chairs. Here's the problem. People would sit, and the back would start hurting. And they'd be like, gosh, my back hurts. I need to go to physical therapy. So they would go to physical therapist. And they would keep doing that. He said, no, I'm sorry. This chair can adjust 57 ways. You should not go to physical therapy. You need to adjust the chairs. You know what he said? People are active sitters. They're passive adjusters. This is what people are doing. They're going to complain without adjusting the chairs. 57 ways to adjust this chair. You should not have gone to a physical therapist. You just needed to adjust the chair. But instead of that, they went to physical therapists. They didn't change the chair. That's what we need to do, is change the chair, shift things, readjust the chair, instead of saying, well, okay, it's all, forget it, we have to go to a physical therapist. It doesn't work. Okay? So people sit there actively complaining, passively adjusting. They're not making change. They're not doing something about it. Okay, actually we're going to skip past this part because I want to get you guys to the vision sheet I have. But actually really fast, so we're not going to do the partner thing, but based on those three things, what kind of actions could we take day to day with people on our team? So the participatory bias, power of participation, power of self-delusion, and social cognitive theory. What could we do? What kind of actions could we take? Just day to day working with people. What could we do?
Lead by example.
Okay, lead by example. Great. Great. What else?
Ask for input.
Good. Ask for input, even if you know the answer.
Yeah.
Tina, I value so much. You have a different experience than everyone else on the team here. What do you think of this? And I might have gone through the curve. I'm over there. I know what we're going to do. But I'm curious, Tina, what is your perspective? Now, she might provide something, and I go, whoa, I didn't even think of that. I'm going to back us up on that curve. Maybe we'll make a different decision. Okay? Yeah.
Involve everyone.
Good. Involve people, right? The fact that you guys have name tags here, I can call out your names. Ruben Mark from Colgate, he was the CEO of Colgate, he made 35,000 employees wear name tags. Because he wanted to call people by names. He wanted everyone else to call people by names, because that's our most favorite word, is our name. I want you to say my name. Even Starbucks with their, what's your name? And is there an E on the end? I don't care, but they want to make me feel important. I want to write the right name on there. I'm always like, it sounds the same when you call it out. It's okay. No, I want to spell it right. Okay. The next level leader. Your next level organization includes excellent member experiences, deep member relationships, and operational efficiency. Right? This is what will take your organization to the next level. My challenge to you is, where do you fit into that? Where are you in that? How do you become the next level leader? That includes creating excellent member experiences, cultivating deep member relationships, and contributing to operational efficiency. We're going to do this in just a second. The competencies that you all have are just there to guide you into becoming that kind of leader. To look at, well, where do I want to close a gap so that I can contribute to operational efficiency? Maybe you're thinking, gosh, I don't actually really know how to plan and organize very well. I got a gap there. If I want to become more operational efficient, I got to close that gap. That's the point of those assessments and the competencies, is to say, I want to contribute. I got to close a gap here. Okay, I've got here for you a worksheet we're going to do. Your vision for you as a next level leader. And I put an example here. Okay, so we've got different ways that you could close gaps. Maybe you've got competencies over here, influencing, planning, judgment. You want to know, you want to close this knowledge and skills gap. You want to close an experience gap. You're going to create excellent member services by increasing conversion of commercial loans, simplifying the process for opening a new account, creating a playbook for tellers. Maybe that's what you want to do. You want to cultivate deep member relationships, meeting every new business customer, creating regular communication with all clients, launching a quarterly client networking event, and maybe contributing to operational efficiency. You want to improve the process for processing loans, reducing costs of marketing, streamlining internal reporting function. I want you to think of you in 2 years when this program's over. Think of yourself as a leader 2 years from now. This program's over. What kind of leader are you going to be? Okay? Here's what we're going to do. I have here not only this, so you have this as a worksheet or as an example, but I have a worksheet here. I want you to start jotting down, where are you? What do you look like as a next level leader? So you can start creating that for yourself. What do I want to do? What am I going to look like in 2 years from now after this program is complete and I am officially, there you go, officially graduated? I put it on yellow paper so it stands out. All right, so I want you to take just a few minutes here, start jotting some ideas down. Oh, sorry, there you go. What gaps do you want to close? What member experiences do you want to create? What member relationships do you want to cultivate? And how are you going to contribute to operational efficiency? All right, so jot some things down so you have something to start with. 2 years from now, where are you? What kind of leader are you? As not the competency closing gaps, but the other. What's your vision? What are you going to do to create excellent member experiences? Anyone have something they could share?
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, then I'll put in Nancy, please.
All right, so under creating excellent member experiences, back office, our members are our associates. So maybe making a one-stop department that can answer all their operational questions so they don't have to call around to different areas.
Nice. Good. Fantastic. Thank you. Nancy.
Really enhancing our onboarding process.
Great.
So not only making a schedule for calling members back, but asking for permission to call members back.
Good.
So that they're more confident in what they're doing.
Excellent. Okay, good. How about cultivating deep member relationships? What ideas? Where do you see?
Giving your feedback,
Okay.
you know, and letting them know that they matter, you know, create that loyalty.
Okay, good. Good. Who else?
Nurture focus groups among members to get their feedback for future products and services.
Great. Wonderful. Like you can actually see, I can do that, right? And what I love about yours is that's a great a why. Like, okay, fantastic. Then what's the action? What are you going to do?
Okay.
Right? So, because that is exactly what you want to
Yeah.
do. Like that's the why and why it's so important.
Uh-huh.
And then say, great. So what can I implement
Okay.
and to actually execute on that?
Okay.
So that, because this is just the start,
Yeah.
right? And so over the next couple of years, what kind of things do you want to do to make that come alive?
Because I know we do member service surveys,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow just take it a different level.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Then maybe that's the thing for you is, gosh, as the next level leader, I want to take those surveys and I want to take to the next level, do
Yeah.
something with them, implement a focus group, talk to people live, really find out what's going on. So good, fantastic. Okay, good. How about contributing to operational efficiency?
I think I'm just involving my team more in decision making.
Okay, good. Involving them in the decision making. Okay, great. Well, and now for you, you might even hone that even more, saying once a month we're going to have a meeting on what could we be doing better. What should we do more of? What should we do? What should we stop doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, that sometimes is not often the question. We go, okay, guys, we're going to start something new. And everyone goes, oh, I've got enough. Gosh. And you say, what do we want to stop doing? Right? We've been doing it for 50 years. We don't know why we're still doing it. So, right? So maybe your implementation is, and execution is, well, what does that look like? Maybe I create something, a meeting of some sort to do just that. Okay, good. One more. Please, Holly.
Assisting with other departments in their development, like technology and.
Okay, good, good. And you could execute on that and say, you know what, I'm gonna once a quarter put a workshop on. And I'm gonna make sure everyone understands the technology because that'll help all of us be more efficient. Okay, good. So the concept here is I want you to say, here's who I wanna be, how am I gonna execute on that? All right, so that this becomes your business plan. For the next 2 years, this is your next level leader. This is you. This is your story in front of you. All right, the kind of leader you want to be. There's so many things that this program is going to help you to implement that, to develop you in that. Anyone know who this woman is? Ursula Burns? Ursula Burns. Ursula Burns grew up in the projects. Lower East Side of New York City, poor. Her mom would say to her every day, Ursula, who you are is not where you are is not who you are. Where you are is not who you are. Every day she'd say, you need education, and you need to know that you have a story in front of you. You can be a different kind of person than we are right here in the projects. Ursula Burns went to school, went to the military, got lots of education. Today she's the CEO of Xerox. Okay? But she wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth. She didn't have someone say, oh, you're going to be the CEO. She said, this is not who I am right here. Where I am is not who I am. I'm a different kind of leader. Okay? She created a story for herself. You get to create a story for yourself. What's wonderful about this program is they're helping you leap into that vision that you have. But you gotta take it, you gotta own it, right? You gotta just inhale the whole thing. And implement and execute, and I look forward to hearing all your great progress. And I know this is the first one, but can you imagine where you're going to be 5, 10 years from now? And you go, wow, I learned so much in that program. It was a kickstart. That helped me create a vision for myself. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all your rolling up the sleeves and just learning some new things today. And I want to welcome your fearless leader here to say a few words.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Wow, that's tough to come up. All of that in. Well, I apologize for interrupting the program this morning, but I wanted to come in and say a few words and wanted to thank you for your interest and your commitment and congratulate you for being accepted into LEAP. This is, it truly is exciting for us. You know, banks had a reputation for doing, creating really good management training programs, and they got rid of all that during the meltdown. So in one of my Federal Reserve Board meetings recently, the topic was, who's going to do it? Because you know, some of them, like Wells Fargo, had a great reputation for management programs for years and years, and then they populated a lot of other financial institutions with those individuals who did lead. And some of you probably have perhaps worked for organizations like that went through the program. So I'm excited about us having a higher level management leadership program here. You know, the thing that LEAP is about customizing your development around you, not you know, putting a round peg in a square hole. It's with you and your unique attributes in mind. And where do you want to go? What do you want to do? So I was asked, to share a little bit about, what was impactful to me in my leadership. And, I've thought about that. And, at times you don't realize, even going back to, for me, when I reflected on that, I go back all the way back to when I was in highway safety patrol in school. That was one of the first things I got involved in, and I just didn't want to be, a patrolman out there. I wanted to be a lieutenant and then a captain, which I was. And I was involved in Boy Scouts, and and I watched all kinds of. I have to say, I grew up in a period when there were a lot of war movies, and the cowboy films, and a lot of that stuff. I didn't realize at the time, but it was stuff that exposed us to exposed me to leadership, whether and to codes and to ethics. So for me, I was exposed to a lot of that stuff earlier in my career, and I think that's what kind of incented me, although I didn't realize it, to really want to be more of a leader and to be engaged in leadership. And it was, as I progressed, it's very rewarding. I found it to be extremely rewarding. But I had my challenges. One of the most important light bulb moments in my career was a 360. So I would say probably one of the most important leadership engagements that benefited me and this happened about 25 years ago, was when I went through a first 360. And I got feedback from some of my peers that said, he's so intense. I feel like I'm being interrogated. I feel like I'm being beaten up at times. And I thought, why? I mean, I felt so bad because I had I was a CFO. And when I got that feedback and I thought, I do get intense when I start asking questions. I had people say, Dave, so I got my 360. And then I went around to each person and I said, I got some feedback and I just want to share with you some of that feedback. And this is not who I am. This is not the person I want to be. I don't want someone to feel like I'm interrogating them or worse. So, I had to, it helped me understand me better. I had a much better perspective of how others perceived me and realizing, how I wanted to be perceived versus how I was perceived. And I certainly didn't want to be viewed as someone that intimidated others or maybe even left them feeling bullied or browbeaten. My role was, I got intense around the questions I would ask about, trying to understand the technical aspects, but it left people, I sucked their energy away. That's a light bulb moment. That has stayed with me. So I went around to each person and I talked with them and I said, you can help me. You just tell me, go like this, or, just tell me. If I start slipping into that, you tell me, because that's not what I'm here for. What I realized is, I can only be successful. In fact, at one of our offsites, about the same time, I suggested we should form a declaration of interdependence. And because my career is placed in your hands every day. And as leaders, and you all know, I mean, you're out there in your departments and in your branches. And, look, we are better being part of a team because I'm not good at some things. I'm good at some things, but I'm not good at a lot of things. And that team brings all that together, makes me better at what I do and how I perform. So we developed this declaration of interdependence because every day, you know, we as peers put our careers and to some degree our future and our success partially in the hands of others. And that's the way it is. I mean, you can't change that. If we think that we're the center of control and we make, you know, we alone are responsible for determining success on any goal, that's not the case. So yeah, I've been through other leadership programs, and one of a life-changing program I went through was in Oxford. You know, here I am, I feel like, you know, the country bumpkin that goes to London, you know, and certainly it's my first time in England, but I'm in Oxford, this 800-year-old university, and I'm sitting in a room with 35 people, 31 of them were from around the world. And I felt really inadequate, I'll tell you. I mean, there were a lot of people there that spoke 3, 4, 5 languages. We had the Minister of Defense from Australia. I mean, it was, we had the CFO for Shell Oil from Finland. I mean, we had a lot of different individuals in there. But that program was a leadership program, but the thing that it was designed around was to pull everybody out of their comfort zone. And, you know, that's hard, especially for somebody that can have studied accounting, you know, finance, CFO. You know, we're just not the most outgoing in many ways. But it was life-changing in that, I learned that, you know, as Americans, we tend to think that we're the center of the world, you know, and that we invented everything. That's absolutely, we know that's not the case. But, you know, when you're in a country as old as England, seeing 800-year-old buildings, you know, or older, it was quite an experience for me. But the key that I came away from was that our problems, our issues, as individuals and as organizations, they're the same around the world. I mean, they really are. It all, I think, comes down to one of the most critical success factors, I'd say, going back to sharing our success, is relationships. It's about building relationships. You know, when I saw the movie City Slickers, and in City Slickers, he says, you know, it's one thing. You know, there's one thing in life. You got to find out what that one thing was. That puzzled me for years. I thought, you know, what am I missing? You know what? Because I thought, you know, what would that be? And, you know, again, it was another light bulb moment for me. That one thing is building relationships. And I'll tell you that the thing that has helped me be most successful in my career, in my personal life, is my ability to build relationships. And, you know, so that's that one thing, you know, we take with us everywhere. And that's what this organization really is about. That's what distinguishes us from our competitors. It's the group of individuals that we have. And it certainly is what we have here. And it's how we build relationships. How successful you are inside the organization, largely dependent upon the relationships you build with your peers and with your team. How successful we are as an organization, we rely on everybody inside the organization and our ability to build relationships and care about our members and our connection to the community. So it's all about relationship. That's the thread. If you pull that out, everything falls apart. You know, you end up being just an organization with no heart. People come in, clock out. They're not going to give you any more than they have to. So You know, so some of the things that you know, the light bulb moment for me was the 360, knowing yourself better. That 360, because you know, I learned that we only know ourselves about 60 to 70%, you know, accurate. The rest of it, you know, we kind of have to try to learn from others and feedback, and we want to know how others, you know, perceive us, and we want to treat them, you know, as they want to be treated, certainly. So, as leaders, you are influencers. You can be a positive influencer or a negative influencer. I don't think anybody sets out and says, I'm going to be the worst boss ever. I'm going to be a negative influencer. I'm going to exert control over these people and I'm going to love them. I don't think anybody sets out to do that. But personality does. It is a factor. And I think that, you know, it's something we can practice and become better at. You know, it took me a while to kind of get over that. And I still occasionally, you know, you can ask any of my direct reports, occasionally I can get pretty intense still. I just can measure it better. And I can tune into it. When I start feeling myself getting a little keyed up, it's a physiological change that I can sense coming over me. You know, my pulse starts to become more rapid. So I said, okay, gotta kind of keep it under control here. You know, let's not take it out on the messenger. Well, so those are just a few things that I wanted to share with you that I can relate to me. And no question, we're all different. But my role here as a CEO is to support you. And it doesn't mean you're always going to like the decisions that we make. You know, it's about, certainly I want to build understanding. I want participation. And I want to create an environment for all of us where we can be open with one another. We can be, you know, we can all participate, all contribute. And that as a value-centered organization, you know, we understand how even when we perhaps don't necessarily agree, we respect one another. So I'm here to support you, not the other way around. You certainly are critical to the success of this organization. And sometimes, you know, I mean, I didn't get here. You know, I had many jobs before I got here. And occasionally you may find that your goals, your timing, and your path don't necessarily gel with the organization's. And you know, we are here as leaders to facilitate your development, our staff, our associates' development. And if that means they have to leave to go somewhere else to take that next step, I want to be very supportive of that. And that's a success. You know, I hate to lose people. But you know, that's if we're truly vested in their future and their development, you know, that happens sometimes. But I want to create an organization. I think we have an organization where we're a vibrant organization. Opportunities occur because of growth and because organizations are vibrant and doing the right things and doing them well. You don't want to be with an organization that's kind of on the downslide. I mean, I've been in one of those too, and it's not fun. I mean, everybody's waiting for the Friday, pink slip Friday, you know? I mean, everything stops. Everything, all the work in the company starts to stop, but you'll also put everything in your personal life on hold when you don't know if you're going to get that pink slip. I don't want to lead an organization that becomes that. And you know, we are, when we talk about the next level company, it's really about continuous improvement as individuals and as a company. But we can't do without you. So we're here to support you. I appreciate your time and your commitment. We are a value-centered organization, associate-focused, member-centered. So I appreciate your commitment, your time, and what you do in helping develop our associates. So the time that, and I feel like, you know, I would love to be able to sit, I'd love a refresher. You know, I mean, we all need that, and I'd love to be in here with you. Unfortunately, they got me at about 3 other places. But anything for me, any questions that I can answer? Or, again, just a couple light bulb moments for me that may be of some value to you. But I know we've done 360s, and I'm not sure, how many of you have been through a 360? Yeah, so you know, that's something I'm sure that will come forward, but it's not something to be feared, but it's something to help you know yourself better. One last story. And this one, I'll tell you, I was up north, and my CFO got a job as the CEO of another of a credit union. And we had a going away party for him. It was a great move for him. He had his career path. And when I got to the organization, a week in, he came into my office and sat down and said, I know you've been a CFO. And this is a guy that was a drill sergeant in the Guard, had been in there, and he was in the reserve. And he came in, I know you've been a CFO. I don't want you telling me how to do my job. This is like week 1. And I said, let me tell you. I said, I won't do your job unless you're not doing your job. So, you know, I'm not a CFO here. I'm the CEO, you're the CFO. You know, you've got my support. You don't have to worry about me getting into your area as long as you're doing your job. And so that's how we started out. It didn't get better, it got worse. A couple of weeks later, I got a harassment claim, not a claim, but on our hotline. You know, somebody basically communicating that they felt that they were being harassed, not sexually, just kind of bullied. And it was one of his direct reports. So, you know, I ended up putting him on probation. And you know, and we designed a development plan for him. I brought an individual in, I worked with him, worked with his team, we did 360s. Okay, so that was year 1. In fact, it was like month 1. So move forward about 5 years, 5 or 6 years, when he was taking the job as CEO. We had the party for him. Everybody left. He said, Dave, I want you to stay for a drink. My wife and I want you to stay for a drink. I said, okay. He said, I'm buying you the most expensive scotch we've got. I said, well, I'll drink that. So, I had no idea where this was going. So he and his wife were sitting across from me, and he says, and he starts to tear up. And this is a guy, you know, that's not easy for him. He says, you saved my career, and you saved my marriage. And his wife starts crying. He said, what you did for me helped me realize I was the person I didn't want to be. And he said, I just hadn't realized it before. And you helped me improve my relationship with my wife, my family, and certainly his professional team. And the individual that had made the claim about the harassment continued working for him, was promoted, and just did a tremendous job. And in fact, she's still in the organization. So, I mean, that was, I think we were all crying before I left. But, I mean, that was, I mean, as leaders, we've all been thanked for, you know, I'm sure for helping people and helping them be, their development, helping them get promoted. But this was a biggie for me. I just had hadn't thought about how it might truly benefit somebody in their personal life like that. But it was, it's one of those things that when you go through your career, you have those moments that, I may forget a lot of other stuff like my phone number, but I'm not sure that I'll ever forget moments like that. But so anyway, this is exciting, and again, I appreciate all you do for this organization, and we want to help you be the best leader that you can be and that you want to be. But it is it's a partnership, so we all have to do, we have to be responsible and accountable and not kid ourselves. But have a great day.
Thank you. So, we have had a very highly aggressive schedule this morning, and you're probably all dying for a break, because I know I am. So, we're going to take 15 minutes. There is food, bagels, coffee on the table outside. Help yourself. Let's be back in the room at 5 after 11. All right, thank you, everyone.